to thank you so much for joining us on this show this hour. And of course, you know that this show is called Focal Point, and I'm the anchor person, Emenike Irebu. On this show, we discuss political issues, all trending issues, both things happening in Abia State and outside Abia State. So today on the show, we have a very well-known politician and professional, a legal luminary, barrister. We have a current House of Assembly member representing Umuahia South State Constituency, a former local government chairman in Abia State. In that same local government area, we have in the House Honorable Jerry Uzosike. Honorable, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate you for coming.
Thank you so much.
It's been a while, we've been trying to
Been a while.
Thank God we have you today in the studio.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. So Abians, you'll be having a few minutes of interaction. I know that you're going to enjoy these moments of talk. So Honorable, I've done a lot of introduction now. Is there something else you want people to know that I have not added?
Nothing. I'm just the common man, Jerry Uzosike. That's it.
Okay, so it's the common man, Jerry Uzosike, but during our interaction, we would know how much common he is indeed. Okay, Honorable, you have been in the House now for upwards 2 years and 2 years plus now.
Yes.
How has it been this period? How's the legislation been? What has been your experience?
Well, it's not my first experience being a legislator. Okay. I was a councillor. I was elected 2004 as a councillor representing the people of Oyocha Ward, constituency in Umuahia South Legislative Council. Wherein I was there for 2 years. So, precisely, what we are doing now is the same thing we did then, but different name, different level of laws. At that level it was by law. Now it is law. So, but I think the experience is also is engaging. It's engaging. But if you are growing within the rank and file, if you receive a promotion, which is if you didn't jump up, if you climbed up, you'll be very stable. It's only when you jump up you see the environment very strange. So I think I climbed up from one step of a local legislature now to a state legislature. So I think the experience is the same, but more challenges, more, but then it's good.
Okay, that's wonderful. You climbed up, you did not jump up, just like you said, and which is a good one. That would give you the basic knowledge of legislation before even you got there.
That's correct.
So we want to thank you so much. So let's move forward. For these 2 years, we've seen a lot on the social media where you have done so much in terms of reaching out to people, both building house for people, reaching out on business support, different form of things you have done, and also in so many legislations and activities which you have been involved in. Yeah. Can you give us an update on exactly what you've achieved this period?
Well, it is very difficult. It's very difficult for me to appraise my activities and tell you all I have done. Most times I put some on social media by my handlers. The reason being that most times you'll be like, people will come and say, Jerry, what have you actually done? And you may not immediately tell them, or you may refer them to one or two of your social media handles too. Or then you may also go back there to bring a compendium when time comes. But then the basic duty of a legislature is lawmaking. And I think we've not been found wanting in that major issue. And you may recall that my private bill was among the first 3 bills that were passed by the 7th Assembly. That bill was all about trying to institutionalize the donor support or donor agencies in Abia State, because a lot of states are developing through donor support, and most times they wanted to pay counterpart funds for grants and for projects, and then states, due to lack of funds, normally go to borrow to pay counterpart funds. For example, in health, where you have SOMIL, you have Project Irene, you have Project this and that through World Bank, and then in education, you have ASOPEP, you have a lot of them, UNESCO also, all those people coming in in education, in health, in agriculture. You have Fadama Trade that just wound up. You have what they call it now in environment. You have this environment, which those that are building a few things in Abia.
Okay.
You have new map.
Yeah.
So basically you need to pay counterpart funds, most of them to come in. So I felt that, look, states borrowing from commercial banks to pay counterpart funds to access these funds with the associated 25, 30 to 35% interest, that it helps to lean the meager state resources. So, and I felt that, look, let there be a law that will bring a level of discipline. A specified amount will be coming out, will be set aside from consolidated revenue of the state, so that any governor that comes, if anybody wants you to pay counterpart funds for any grant, you just go there, take it and pay without borrowing. So that law, as it were, received the overwhelming support of my colleagues who also co-sponsored it. It was among the first few bills that were passed. I've also co-sponsored many, and if you go to my scorecard, you will see them. Also, a lot of motions, but one of the motions that which I find very dear was when I sponsored a motion on notice that received a very serious support by members. That is making history compulsory in our secondary and primary schools in Abia State. Making history compulsory. I sponsored that motion because I discovered that when we were growing up, history was compulsory. Then it was either history or geography. Geography also has a level of history in it. So I felt that people that doesn't know where they're coming from will not know where they are, and they can actually project where they are going. And I felt that, look, our young stars need to know who they are. That's actually who an Igbo man is. So I felt that we've lost trace, and people no longer know those things we cherish, those values how did we even survive Nigerian Biafran Civil War? What made us to survive? An Igbo man is resilient to every environment he finds himself. So I felt that we should go back to history. So I sponsored that motion, and it was also carried. And we're actually following up the implementation by our secondary and primary schools. And I sponsored a lot of motions on bad roads, in gully erosion, in Umuahia, in Olokoro, and all those places. So I have done that. So if I look at the core mandate of a legislature, that is to say lawmaking, oversight functions, and so on and so forth, I think we have fared well. The reason I told you is because I didn't just get into House of Assembly. I was groomed. The problem we have is that people will drop their bag from one area, they want to jump into politics, without actually, particularly legislation. People need to be groomed. I am also a lawyer.
You need some skill.
Some skill, so, and, but then, I promised my constituency more than legislation. You always hear me say more than legislation. I promised them during campaign that they will receive more than legislation. That's why I veered into sponsoring businesses. And you may recall that immediately we were sworn in. A few months after, early 2000 or so soon thereafter, COVID-19 came and destroyed a lot of businesses. A lot of and our people are into much of this food and beverage industry. A lot of restaurants, a lot of bars. We have a lot. For example, Umuahia, for example, as a ward, has over 70 restaurants and bars. 70, and you may now appreciate what happened during COVID. They were all shut down, and we have 10 wards in Umuahia South, so it affected all our wards. So many businesses were grounded, So and I was faced with that challenge. After the sponsoring of the palliatives, which I gave them, shared over 100 bags of rice and what they call it now, nose masks and sanitizers and all that. I was among the first House member that even initiated that to share those things in all our wards. And then post-COVID era, assuming COVID has subsided as it is now. So I started okay, all these businesses that were shut down, how can I now support them? Because I promised more than legislation. So I started then empowering our people going back to revive those businesses. Most of them I refuse to give cash. I will go, what are you doing? You are a barber, I'll give you a generator and brand new clipper and support you in paying your rent. Some that were into a restaurant business, I will support them by buying drinks, give them money for foodstuffs. Some I will buy deep freezers. In fact, as at the last count, I have shared over 125 deep freezers in Umuahia South. In a day, in 2020 December, I shared over 22 in one day. And these deep freezers are 220, some 240 liters, which are among one of the biggest sizes. Some of them are close to 200,000 today, and we keep sharing. Why we do that is because our people believe in storage is our problem, and people we suffer to make money to even cook soup or stew. So those things get sour due to lack of electricity. But if somebody has a deep freezer, who for private use, you can freeze your soup, and we don't normally have light. We seldom have light. So if you freeze your soup or your stew for one day under a deep freezer, it can last for 3 days without even light coming back. So those are the things those are the things which made me veer into all that. And then we made promises. I am a person that I don't make campaign promises for making sake, for winning election. I don't. People make campaign promises for winning election. I don't. I'm an industrial chemist, a profession. I am a lawyer, and I have a whole lot that can help me to make money. So why would I enter into politics for the purposes of making more money without taking it back to the people? There were promises I made during campaign. One, I went to Apumuni Market. Apumuni Market is the biggest market in Umuahia South, in my constituency. It's Apumuni Market. I went to Ayupu Market, Olokoro. It's the second biggest. I made promise because every of my promise is need based. It's need based. You see, most of the diseases, most of the sickness we pass through in Africa, 70% come from drinking water. Go and do your research. 70%. We talk about typhoid. This 70% from infections. So, and most of these things come from our market. People will go to our market, there's no water. Hardly you see any major market in Europe and America without a clear and a good source of water. Vegetables, tomatoes, noodles, food items, meat. A man will be selling meat. Water to even wash kanda, which we even discourage. Water to even wash it will not be neat. People use gutter waters to wash meat in the market. If you see what happens behind the tables, you won't even eat certain meat you buy from the market. So I felt that, look, people that sell vegetables, okra, a lot of young men go to the market who are not married. Madam, tinyere mogo, cut it for me. Because of lack of water, the woman will use any kind of water and wash and cut for you. Meat will fall on ground from the table of a man who is selling meat. There's no water. He will just pick up the meat, remove and place it there. So I felt I should give our markets water. With reticulation, it cost me so much, relying on my salaries and little allowances. So much. Because as in a poor man, I mean a little goat of a poor man. Yes. So if you just oppose it with my income, it cost me so much. But I went ahead to put waters, and I reticulated it in 4 locations. Cost me so much money. The height of the tank is over, some of them over 30 feet, in order to pressurize the reticulation. I did. And then I gave them, each of them, brand new generator. And I also connected them to national grid, so that when there is light, they can pump. And I'm maintaining, and I said I'll maintain it for the first 4 years. If you go there today, those things, it works.
They're working.
The same thing in Obakala and the same thing in Ayubu, Olokoro. Then Umokbara had their turn through Hume. I built a 4-classroom block. I'm not saying I attracted. I renovated, and unfortunately for me, if it is now, I wouldn't have gone into renovation. Renovation costs more money than building, because I wanted to renovate a 4-classroom block. You will pay a carpenter to remove the roof. You pay a carpenter to remove the wood and everything. Then I discovered that most of those houses had only block, no pillars. I started now breaking down to reinforce. Even the doors and windows had no lintel. Those old days, they just used the wood to hold the blocks and build. So immediately I removed those things, the whole house collapsed. So I started building. So I did that for Umuahia. I have this consciousness. Umuahia South stands on tripod. We are 3 people that own Umuahia South: Obakala, Olokuro, and Umuahia. So we are 3. So whenever I'm doing something in Umuahia, my clan, I'm conscious that I should do one in Obakala. I'm conscious, exactly. So I did that, and it was commissioned in my first year in office. Second year in office also, we commissioned other things, including I promised widows that I'll be building houses for widows. So at the last count, we are the 5th one.
You have seen so many of them.
5th one. And as I speak this morning, I've not received one dime as constituency project. The state government has not given me a constituency project. I expect to have as a legislature. It's my right to have, but I've not received yet. But the governor supports 7th Assembly. I will not deny that. So I started building those houses. And the reason is this: food on the table, house over my head, and clothes over my skin. These are 3 basic needs of man. Basic, fundamental. So you go to such people, they'll be living in thatch houses. In fact, the pain and the agony. I lived in thatch house, in my father's house, before we moved into the zinc house built by my father. At least I'm hovering around 50 years, so I know what I'm saying. I lived in a thatch house, so I understand what it means living in a thatch house when it is raining. The mother will be running to this angle with one basin. The son will be directed to go to the bed with another basin. And the husband will be at one other. And yes, I passed through those things. And I promised myself before promising the people that, look, I'm going to help in giving people homes. And if you know what we are passing through, putting down one house, I think people will understand the level of sacrifice we are doing. When a block is 250 naira, one block. When a bag of cement is 4,500 naira, a bag of cement. When a tipper of sand is 27,000 naira, a tipper of sharp sand, 27,000 naira. When a bundle of long span, short cut, is about almost 200 something thousand, and maybe in a house you need like 3 or 4. So if you check building materials today, but I am doing it because this is what I promised God and humanity. I'm only a first-time member. I'm not a principal officer. I don't hold any portfolio in the house. But my brother, I promise more than legislation, and I look at God. So my people voted me when I didn't have money. So that's why I have to follow all these my promises and fulfill them. And Umuahia South haven't seen anything yet. They haven't seen anything yet.
Okay, Honorable, obviously you've done so much, and we will give you all the time today. You keep explaining all this you have done. Okay, let's leave you for a moment and look at the house generally.
Yeah.
The house too, of course, it's a new house. It's about 2 years now also, or thereabout. And then how can you assess the house generally?
I think
from your angle.
Yes, we've done well. In terms of legislation, we've done well. In terms of oversight, we've done well. In terms of even projects, right now, lawmakers are judged not only by their core mandate, unfortunately. And people like us have even raised the stake. Raised the bar so high, including Mr. Speaker. We have raised including Ginger Usibe and some of us. We've raised it so high that in fact people now see us as governor, as a governor or as an executive, so to say. So the 7th Assembly, you now see a lot of us struggling to do one thing or the other. A lot of us now struggle to do one thing or the other. And so if you look at it, but the pressure on a House member, if I put it side by side by our achievements, I would say we've done well. And you can see that we also, you look at even the oversight. Oversight is not easy in Africa. Oversight is not easy. People think, most of you in the media, sometimes we call us out to say, Jerry, you are the chairman of this thing. You should do this. Jerry, you are the chairman of this. You should do this. I know there's a question.
Of course, that's our job too.
That's a question. Yeah, exactly. You are the conscience of the society, and you must be seen doing that. But if you also, oversight and legislative activities, we're not independent. We are not. I don't pay myself salary. I don't pay my allowances. The executive, they do. So it's clearly different from National Assembly. A speaker of National Assembly can decide not to talk to the president for 4 years and nothing will happen. A Senate president or even senators can decide not to visit the president or even talk to him for 4 years and nothing will move forward. It happened during Saraki and the rest. They are independent. They buy they equip the legislation when they want to do it. But here, it is not the same. So, if I place all those side by side, if I place the pressures, the things we pass through, both by our constituency, by the hazards we face, I will tell you that the 7th Assembly, we have done very well.
Okay. Yes, of course, you just said that the 7th Assembly have done very well considering the time at the moment, because we still assess them again at the end of their tenure fully. But then recently there have been some shakings in the House. There have been some impeachment plots. We heard just recently that the same impeachment move, the people involved have moved to Uyo to go and regroup, and they are now coming back again that they must impeach the Deputy Speaker and the Majority Leader. But one thing we've not been able to understand is that they keep saying that one of the reasons is welfare. What really is the problem at the moment in the Abia State House of Assembly as regards impeachment or no impeachment?
Unfortunately, I'm just a class 1 member of the House of Assembly today. Just in class 1. And I'm not even, and unfortunately again, the person who ought to brief the public, the chairman House Committee on Information.
He's under the radar too.
It's under the radar. So I don't have the mandate to speak for the 7th Assembly. But let me also say this. When the legislature talks about welfare, welfare is not money in the pocket. No. It is beyond money in the pocket.
Explain to us what welfare is all about.
My constituency, if my constituency is comfortable, then welfaristically speaking, I'm comfortable.
Okay.
If my constituency is comfortable, I'm comfortable. That's what it means.
So it's not about money in the pocket.
It's not about money in the pocket. No.
Because that's the assumption people have.
No.
It's about themselves.
No. The democracy, you know that the major democracy, the major arm of democratic government is the legislature. That is why during the military, you have the executive and the courts, the judiciary. They only attack the legislature. Because we represent democracy strict to sensu. Strictly speaking, we represent the democracy. Now, I represent Umuahia South State Constituency. If I talk about welfare, I'm talking about the welfare of my people. In terms of good roads, in terms of electricity, in terms of water, in terms of education, everything. Welfare is a holistic. So people make mistake in when they hear legislators talk about welfare. They feel they need money. No. It's not money. And I think in this case we want to crystallize. How I wish I'm a second-term member or a ranking member or qualified to speak for the House of Assembly. I would have told you exactly what the issues are, what the welfare is. But unfortunately, I am just a...
the way the matter is being handled is so secret that the populace will have to now choose what they want to believe. Because if much information is not given to the people will now begin to choose, like, just explain what welfare is.
Yes.
Now, if not for this explanation now, everybody feels that welfare is that money have not entered their pocket.
No.
The
the governor, in terms of individual member welfare, the governor has done well. Although we also need him to even do more.
For the welfare of individual members.
For the individual members. Okay. The reason is that anything you're doing for me, for some of us who are workaholics, it translates in our constituency. In fact, if you give me 100 million now or 200 million now, I will do more 20 houses in Umuahia South. In fact, that is my dream. My dream is to get 20 houses done. before the next end of the term.
Honorable.
So, but the welfare is beyond individual member.
There are some agitations from some constituencies. I think those agitations is born out of the influence of what you people are doing in your constituencies.
Yeah.
So they keep asking if what you guys are doing, do you guys get resources from somewhere else to do this thing? Or is it just your resources? Or how exactly are you putting your personal resources from somewhere else? Because other members seems not to be doing exactly what you guys are doing, especially you, Honorable Ginger Musibe, and some few, I think those are the major, some other few people. What exactly are you getting funds from? Are you getting from abroad, from Ogechi Cares, from your abroad members? How is it going?
Lately, Ogechi Cares members are supporting now. Lately, I must give it to them. Those from United States and the UK, they are supporting. And then from Central Africa, they started supporting. And before you start receiving support, you must have done a level of sacrifice. Before a donor decides to invest in your project, in your foundation, they would have seen a lot of sacrifice. You see, what myself, Ginger, and a few and others are doing is a lot of sacrifice. A lot of sacrifice. The reason is that we must take back. Our people are suffering. I cannot be living in affluence when those that elected me into power are dying in penury. That is the basics of my existence. That's the basics of my political idiosyncrasy. From day one, I tell you something. In 2000, I received an award from Chemistry Department, University of Calabar, Selfless Service Award. The first person to receive that service in Chemistry Department, University of Calabar, Selfless Service Award. Now, everybody has his own choice. If I want to build a house in Abuja and have a duplex in Abuja, obviously I won't be doing what I'm doing in my constituency. If my problem is to have three-story buildings here in Umuahia, I won't be doing what I'm doing in my constituency. You understand? So I am a common man.
It's a matter of choice.
It's a matter of choice. I am a common man, a common Jerry Uzosike, a son of a common man, and voted into power by common people. And I must live within my means. I must live in a way that, look, they will enjoy what that government means. And it's not everybody can do what we are doing or can pay that level of sacrifice.
Okay, Honorable,
Yes.
let's go to the National Assembly now.
Yes.
Meanwhile, we are still in the studio. We are still with Honorable Jerry Uzosike, the Honorable Member representing Umuahia South State Constituency. We've been discussing so many issues, and now we are going to national discourse. Let's look at other legislations that have been agreed upon at the national level. Honorable, just recently, the President, Muhammad Buhari, signed the newly amended Electoral Act, and there's been kind of jubilation from Nigerians, at least to a large extent. What the jubilation is as if there's a new dynamic about this.
Yes.
What can you give us insight into that?
I jubilated.
Yes.
I jubilated. Obviously, I jubilated. And for me, whatever I perceived as evil, which Buhari has done, assuming in my own perception, all the ills I perceive that he has done in the last 6 years is forgiven.
For him for this.
For signing
This is
this.
serious.
I tell you something. We need such law. For Nigeria to move to the next level, we need such law. You see, power finally has gone back to the people. Some sections of that law has made it important that if you're popular, you can win election. We're even going to amend the constitution. And then the speed National Assembly is even amending some constitutional sections now, which they're going to bring to us ultimately.
Yes, we're getting there.
Yes, it shows that we want this country to change. I tell you something. By last Friday, the political hemisphere, the political firmament of the country has changed. Godfatherism is dead. If you understand what I'm saying. Listen, you can no longer go and write a result in one unit. You can no longer go and use smart card and then use what they call it now, incident paper, and then load in the 10 and write 2,000. Those things are gone. Even the law itself prescribes the level of punitive measures against all our university professors, doctorate degree holders, Because the idea of bringing professors and doctorate degree holders to come and oversee elections as returning officers is because Nigerians felt that, look, these people, I get angry when ASO demonstrate. I get angry when ASO strike. Do you know why I get angry? The same ASO that is striking against bad government is the same ASO that we go and institutionalize bad government in power. In the last 10 years, in the last 10 or even 20 years, collection officers, returning officers has basically been lecturers of federal universities. So, if a doctorate degree holder of a university will go and refuse to announce the winner, and we collect millions of naira and announce a wrong person as a governor, as a senator, as a House of Assembly member, then after establishing bad government, collecting money, you don't know those people will get back their money? Then when they use your salary to pay back the loans they collected to give you a bribe, then you go on strike. That's nonsense, as far as I'm concerned. So the new act has even reduced. You see, a collection officer is now, before you even collect, the computer has collected, and the result will be there for all to see. So, and if you mess up, there are options of jail without fine. Now, you know, before we had a card reader, but still, card reader was just a tissue paper. Because when you go to court will say the only thing recognized is electoral register. So somebody, you know, people also spend their time to influence the registration capacity of their ward. I tell you, they will go to one ward, take the registration material. They can go to 7 kilometers, go to university there, pay people for 500 to come and register. I can take the registration material of my constituency, maybe my ward. I can bribe INEC, take it, and go to University of Nigeria, Soka, or go to any university and pay students 500 naira to come and register and give me the cards. They will register. Then you see, in my ward, we have 20,000 in a ward. I've been threatening fire and brimstone. I said on election day, I will return 20,000. Those things are over.
The beavers now has to capture you.
The beavers must capture you. And the law went ahead to say, where it is practically impossible for election to hold in day one, election must hold in day two. So if you say the card reader has failed, you can't use incident form. You must wait for a better card reader to come. So it means that if you watch what happened in Anambra, and it has reduced, why I celebrated again is that it has reduced violence. The issue of Abobi, the issue of killing, snatching of ballot boxes, we have shaped those things away. Check what happened in Anambra. No one slapped anyone. What happened in Abuja? No one slapped anyone. The reason is that, why am I going to call on Abobi when you don't have nothing to offer?
When there's no place for snatching of ballot.
No place. Immediately you snatch it and run away, that place is cancelled. Election will continue the next day, even with now more security. So you see that if you have any Abobi man or woman now, you cannot advise him to go and get a PVC, a realistic PVC. So
do Abobi in his
so Buhari doing that alone, I think Buhari has also shown that he's a statesman.
Okay, Honorable, just also yesterday, the National Assembly also looked into so many bills. One of the bills they looked into is the autonomy of the state assemblies and the
local
judiciary,
government,
and local government also, yes. So on that, I hope when it comes down here, you are going to support these bills.
In 2004, I was the chairman of state councillors forum of the state. I was invited to AIT, Port Harcourt. That was when I said to the governor then that look, local government autonomy must be allowed to operate. Fortunately, the Constitution section 7 says that the existence of a local government system under a democratically elected government is hereby guaranteed. Unfortunately, some other sections gave the Houses of Assembly powers to make law. And unfortunately, again, the Supreme Court made a judgment. You know, I took the government to court then. Remember? I took the state government to court in 2004. It lasted for over 7-8 years. I did. Under Justice Ada in Federal High Court, Abuja. I did. Now, if this autonomy, now how many years after, you're not asking me, will I vote for the autonomy? I will not be among those members.
Because it has come before.
Yes.
And it was rejected.
But not in this 7th Assembly.
Yes.
I will vote for local government 100% autonomy.
And your autonomy.
And judicial autonomy. And assembly autonomy. I will vote for 100%. The reason is that let's begin to get close to the Nigeria. Because, you see, somebody in power today, particularly in the executive, we don't want local government autonomy. I mean, all over Nigeria, because Ochikalu didn't want it then.
Correct.
But today, Ochikalu will vote for local government autonomy. He will vote for assembly. He has changed. You know, so I think beyond me being in power, nobody can be in power in perpetuity. People in executive and in judiciary and assembly should remember that power is transient. I'm in assembly today. So whatever I feel that should rule when I'm no longer there, I should implement it now. And I know the temperament, I know the ideology of people in the 7th Assembly. It will receive overwhelming majority.
Okay, we have another issue here which women have been agitating, obviously, very much at the National Assembly, and they've been protesting since yesterday and up to today, still protesting. That's on the issue of the bills that are associated to women. One of them especially being the one they talked about giving special seats to women, creating special seats for women, both at the states, but that bill was knocked off at the National Assembly yesterday. And women are still saying that they will push it and see if 24 houses of assembly are going to revert that position back for it to work. What is your take on that?
I have not looked at that section, but I tell you something. Women, there are also places for example, in Abia of you and I, where women are so strong that they've even been in power for 16 years.
Yes.
Am I lying?
My local government. Yes.
In your local government.
Yes, yes.
Where women have been in power. So women are not weak.
Okay.
Women are not weak. There are places, for example, in Isukwato Munoji, Federal Constituency, you've been in power and doing very well.
Yes.
In Bende, they were there for, is it 8 or 12 years?
12 years, yeah.
You know, and so on and so forth. Creating special seat for women. I don't know I don't know what the bill was. Whether, for example, in Abia, you say 2 seats for women.
No, the bill was this, that every other seats remain. Like the way we have senatorial seat, we'll create one special seat.
Okay, for a woman.
And that senatorial seat will last for only 2 election terms. 2 election cycle. After that, it will win away. What it means is that they want women to begin to come more, and from there, women cannot be factored and have the capacity to run effectively.
If I see such a bill, ordinarily, if I look at the bill, and you know that maybe National Assembly rejected it because it may be adding more burden, financial burden to the state and then to the federal government. Remember also that there are constituencies in Nigeria, not only in Abia, where women are holding sway. And women has even more number in political activity. I'm saying that if you have women in your constituency, you will win. So if the women also, but unfortunately, let me tell you the problem women has, is unfortunately, a lot of women, credible, qualified women, don't even dare politics. Due to some belief they will be called prostitutes, they'll be given bad names.
But do you even think the political environment encourages women?
The new bill.
Except this new bill.
The new bill now.
The violence, the thuggery. How can
the new bill now? Are you aware that even independent? I even discovered that Senate has even passed independent candidates.
Independent candidates, yes.
Okay. So the new bill now will make it possible. If a party makes its form very expensive, makes it this and that very expensive, and maybe uses strength to muzzle out some people, you can go to one party, mobilize women to vote you. You will win if you're popular.
Okay, we've got a long way in our discussion this afternoon. Let us look at 2 other issues that are germane that we need to look at before we close our discussion today. Let's look at there have been this agitation that it is a time for local people.
Yes.
That after you are done now, local will take over.
Yes.
It has been everywhere. Is there an arrangement like that? What's the position of that?
I think the people that are saying it are just being mischievous.
Okay.
Let me tell you, they are passing wrong information. I told you before that we are 3 clans.
Yes.
My clan took the first turn in 1999 by Honorable Ndukwadendo. Ndukwadendo was pleaded. People pleaded for him. The governor then, Ochikalu, pleaded for all the house members to go for second tenure. Honorable Ndukwadendo said no, that he wanted to run for chairmanship of the council. which he did and won.
Okay.
It wasn't as if anybody said go one time.
Okay.
They pleaded with him to run. Ndugwe said no, I want to go for chairmanship. You know, executives, they are in control more than house members.
Yes.
After him, a man in Obakala, Leonard Onyekwere, went. Leonard Onyekwere, they pleaded with him to run for second tenure. Leonard said no. In fact, they invited him by a woman I would have called then, one of those that controlled power then. Leonard said no, that he's interested in local government, which he also ran.
Local government again?
Yes, from Obakala, which he also ran, but unfortunately he lost the ticket.
Okay.
It went to Olokoro. An Olokoro man called Madumere won. It was a battle between himself and Chidi Nwosu, PPA and PDP. Madumere from Olokoro won, was declared the winner. He was in House of Assembly for 2 years before Honorable Chidi Nwosu, or close to 2 years, before Honorable Chidi Nwosu now got it from court. And Honorable Chidi Nwosu served out the unexpired residue of 2 years. That is a local clan. Serving 4 years. Ordinarily, if we were serving one term per clan, one term is 4 years. And any clan at all, no matter the circumstance, if you go for 4 years, you have served your 4 years. Olokoro said no, that let second tenure start, that let ranking start. Honorable Chidi Nwosu was voted into second term in office massively by my clan. And he went for second tenure. Then Olokoro now served from 2007 to 2015, 8 years back to back, without any other clan taking a shot. Remember, my clan served last 20 years ago. My clan, 20 years, 1999. 20 years.
Yes.
Now, Olokoro finished their tenure of 8 years. Chidi Nwosu tried third tenure. He ran with me, against me. What stopped him from going for third tenure was only 3 votes in primaries. 3 votes. I defeated him with 3 votes. So Olokoro would have even gone for third term. Olokoro would have gone for third term. But for 3 votes. But I got that ticket, which was my clan then. So I was given the ticket by PDP. Then Abga change. They went to Obakala. You know, Obakala just finished before Olokoro. So it was even my clan that ought to go. But Abga went to Obakala clan, who ordinarily it wasn't their turn then, and took a candidate. Due to the change mantra, the unknown person, because he just came back, he won. He defeated me and went for 1 term. Now, when during his first term, the leaders of PDP invited him to come into PDP and go for second term. These were leaders of the party, including from my local government, including the highest leader from Olokoro clan. He invited me in his office. I was in party then. Pleaded with me not to run, that he likes people to go for second tenure, that he has invited Honorable Chijoke to come into our party and go for second tenure. Remember, the 9 members of the ABGA then, except 1, the remaining 8 moved back into PDP. Remember, except my own member. He said he was with Arochukwu. Yes, look, he said he was going to win in Abia. And Abraham Oba. Even the Chijoke then, his clan Obakala, invited him to a meeting and pleaded with him to come into PDP and go for second term. And I refused to run. I said if he was coming in to PDP, I won't run. That minute, that was why I came out late. That minute, he said he was going to run in his party. Even his political party also gave him ticket to run. Abga, and he ran. Now, I defeated him. Assuming without conceding that today, as at my first tenure, Olokoro has gone for 8 years. Ubakala has gone for 8 years. Umuahia has gone for 8 years. Where did he start? My clan. He started in my clan. So you see that anyhow you look at it, it is my clan that ought to serve. Because 1, we've not had any ranking member, which Olokoro had. We've not had any ranking member. Olokoro is the first to go back to back, second tenure. So now, the 3 clans have gone for 8 years by 2023. And it is my clan that started. And I'm already there. And I have done so well. So if the former house members whom all of them said, Jerry, you have done excellently well, more than all of us joined together. If all of them were pleaded to come in to go for second tenure and they say no, including the immediate past, what about me, who has done so well? What Olokoro is even doing is even too early, because Ubakala is as qualified as them. All of us, Ubakala is as qualified as Olokoro. So they are only bringing up the argument that will even cost a whole lot of when it is their turn. You know, but beyond turn by turn, your turn will come. I think there is a preponderance of support to say, look, even if nobody has done second tenure before, which is not the issue, that even if nobody has done it, like, let's start it. Remember, our federal constituency used to be one term. Today is 2 terms.
Yes.
In fact, the member is even struggling for 3rd term. In the 7th assembly today, I know of over 4 members who are in 2nd term, who are also running for 3rd term.
House is running for 5th term.
For 5th term. So you could see that even if nobody has gone for 2nd term before, and in all my campaign, thank God I'm a social media person. All my campaigns, they were all recorded in social media. I never told anybody I'll go for 1 term. How can a lawmaker say he'll go for 1 term? You even know that the person that is saying it is even lying. A lawmaker will want to live there forever. A lawmaker, every lawmaker will want to live there forever. You can only be called back by people to say, please, if you go for second tenure, allow others to also come up. So, and it is not even Olokoro that is agitating. It's some elements there. The majority of Olokoro people support me.
Okay, Honorable, we want to thank you so much for coming to the studio this good afternoon, this wonderful afternoon. But on the final note, what are you going to tell your people as regards what they should expect from you before your present tenure?
Yes, you know, we have affected every side of our legislation. We are in scholarships, we are in job attraction, we are in manpower development, we are everywhere. We are in sports. One of those that played my tournament is already being listed in one of our grade A teams in Nigeria as we speak. And so what my people should expect is more than legislation. Everything I promised them, I've rounded up. Or rather, I'm rounding up. And I'll be unfolding the next level very, very soon.
The next level.
The next level. The next level will be mind-boggling. It will be mind-blowing. The next level where I'll be taking Umuahia South State Constituency to. It will be unimaginable. I really want to let them know what it takes, what it is, or what it ought to be to have a representative. It's not only a mouth. I'm ready to sacrifice all for them. As a TC chairman, I did it too. No transition committee chairman in the history.
Your shopping complex
no transition committee chairman has broken my record. None. In fact, except this executive chairman who's working very well. The last executive chairman didn't do anything. And no TC chairman has done everything I touch politically. I come the best. In University of Calabar, I was the Secretary General. For my faculty to give me Selfless Service Award, go to University of Calabar, make inquiry in my faculty of Science, make inquiry in Chemistry Department. So every level I've found myself politically, I've always shown class. So Umuahia South should expect more than just legislation, and I'm happy now that at least that votes will count. So what the people say, when you see people come to visit you, they say, arrange your own. Those people you see coming are the people that will do the voting. The voting is not even, it's not even only a delegate thing now. It's not an issue. Yes.
Honorable, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Nigerians and Abians, we want to thank you for joining us on this show. We have come to the end of the show, and we know you will continue watching our shows, and then you make up your mind in every other discussion today. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. My name remains Emenike Rebu, the anchor of this show, Focal Point. God bless you.